So testing mic 1 2, testing mic 1 2. This is the BackBenchers podcast. Okay, yeah, it's basically me and my boy. What's your name again?
Blase.
Okay, sure. If you don't know, my name is Carl, and this is pretty much my second channel, which I've turned into a podcast channel. I haven't done a podcast since like 2020. Since then, I'm back now, but I'm in like video format. Okay, let me see if there's no sweat. There's no sweat. But fine.
You're sweating.
Huh?
It's shining.
Oh God. Okay, fine. So yeah, I'm pretty much used to this. I'm doing this to like build my verbal fluency mostly, and also to just get back into the podcast game. And yeah, this is pretty much your first time.
Yeah, it's my first time doing a podcast.
What has been your experience so far?
Is this defined as a podcast?
It's a video podcast.
Podcast.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's pretty much the standard, to be honest. It's not just audio. Audio is pretty boring and limited.
So. They want to see who's behind the voice, right?
Yeah, most of the time. So, yeah. So now that we are into it, how's your week? How's your week been?
It's been stressful. It's been stressful.
So-
There's been a lot happening. And as you know, the economy...
Why it affects you?
yeah, it's just rubbish, man.
Yeah.
No, like, when you're doing business or working in a company that... Especially when you have to import stuff, you know?
Oh, shit,
So
yeah.
you're constantly running and chasing the exchange rate, and you're
Mm-hmm.
losing money, and everything is upside down. Everyone's panicking, but fuck it. I mean, we're here right now. We're about to have a good time.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Okay, yeah. So basically, with this podcast, which is pretty much episode 0, it's not going to be anything serious. We're just trying to have fun. Times are hard. People want to escape, and
Yeah.
that's what we are basically here for.
Yeah.
So, pretty much this week, a lot of things have happened, but most importantly, the most important thing during this week is with Kanye West. October
October
has been
red.
yeah.
October red.
Yeah.
October is red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Red October. Is it Red October?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Oh,
no?
shit.
So it's I guess it kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because now he's hot.
He's,
I don't know if he cares though. Well, he acts like he doesn't care, but he has to care because once the money runs out,
Yeah.
everything else runs out. Money is power.
Basically, but
Right.
like to me, like I think he's like off the rails. Like he's
Yeah.
mostly mad.
Yeah.
And somebody called Low Tier God said that like most of this stuff didn't matter until Kim Kardashian started fucking with a white guy that had a 10-inch penis. That's what.
Yeah,
that's
I saw that.
So
Well,
mix-
what I think is the whole
yeah.
Kardashian family has turned every black guy they've dated crazy.
Yeah, you could say
Or
that.
every guy they dated crazy.
I had a theory about
Yeah.
that. I said
Yeah.
that they mostly live on the vitality of black men.
Yeah.
So once a black guy gets into their sphere, they suck him
They
dry
suck him
for
dry.
his
Yeah,
like his
yeah,
potential, his vitality,
Yeah.
everything. And
I guess
they
so.
just
But
discard him.
either way, I mean, if you've watched what's it called, the documentary that he did on Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh
If
gosh.
Mind of a Genius or something.
Yeah,
I saw it.
Yeah, if you've watched that, you
Genius.
understand that his mind has always been the same.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really just an evolution of his mind into probably a predictable direction because he's always been on the limit and on the edge of what is considered to be the standard.
Yeah.
And he's always pushed the boundary. And I, for one, have been a fan for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Because his music and his remixes have been
Next level.
you know, he knows how, he's like the master genius.
Yeah.
He knows how to master the most distantly related track and bring it right into current hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, and then when it comes to fashion, he's really understood how to connect. His following has been almost godly. Like
It's past cultish. Like,
yeah,
it's
like
past
you know,
cultish,
you have
yeah.
all these like Asian kids and white kids and black kids and like all over the world. Really, it has transcended barriers, and especially once you have the Asian community behind you, like you're doing big numbers because they've got spending power, you know.
Okay.
So I've always kind of admired how he's been so multi-talented from an artistic perspective. And you have to give it to him. He is a genius. I, in my opinion, I believe he's a genius. Now, whether he's a crazy genius
Yeah.
or a a reasonable, rational genius, that's a whole different conversation. Okay. And I think right now he's gone over the edge to the point that even if you were fucking with him, you yourself don't know if you want to be affiliated because people are going to call you out.
Yeah, people are going to call you out.
And that's why brands at this point are distancing themselves. So
yeah, like the business point, I do not understand. People are saying he's trying to get out of his contract and own everything he does.
Yeah.
Like we've seen him fall out with Gap and pretty much most labels he's been working with, fashion houses he's been working with. The latest one, which is Adidas, but. Do you know anything concerning his history in fashion and why he would do this business-wise? I think he's off the rails.
Yeah,
that's it. But if there's any smarts to this,
well,
what do you think
it's kind of all a bit of an ironic situation because he opened the door for a lot of creatives that we now know, be it Virgil Abloh, be it Jerry Lorenzo from Fear of God, be it. Gosh, the names are not coming to me right now, but literally a whole array of black designers who were looking to break through into high-end fashion or into cult fashion via streetwear. Most of these guys collaborated with him on his albums, on his album designs, on his tour gear, whatnot, and then use him as a stepping stone. And I remember at one point he said that if you have your own ambitions, if you have a dream to create your own label, do not come and work with me. Because too many people have worked with him, used that momentum to then like
launch their own
launch off into the sky and do their own thing. And with that, a few people became more successful than he did. Well, particularly Virgil. Virgil took his dream job at Louis Vuitton. He tried desperately to get that role because he was called the Louis Vuitton Don. You know? He used to rock that, the backpack and all of that. And he thought, but, these high fashion and labels, they want people that are poised. People that are able to reason with what they built because they built most of this stuff over centuries. If not centuries, over definitely decades, So you're not going to come with your high energy hip hop fashion and just think you're going to come and like talk the talk and walk the walk like you're some Jesus God and then, suddenly take over LV. They're not going to let you do that.
So you think they saw it from a mile away?
100%. Because his character has always been flamboyant and it's always been about me.
Okay.
But you join those labels and it's about translating their culture, their identity, and carrying it on into the next generation. But he is a disruptor, right? So I know it's been really difficult for most of the brands he's worked with to work with him because he's extremely demanding. But this is where he stands today.
Do you think these issues he's like currently facing are mostly unique to him? Like actually there's a problem, there's a reason why he's spazzing out, or you think he's a very difficult person? Because that's what it's giving me. Like I think
he's losing it a little bit. I know he's been on meds.
I know the crazy.
His album because I hate being bipolar. It's awesome.
That's that. And he named it on the day he released.
he's definitely not stable, but the minds of most geniuses aren't. I think. I mean, I'm not sure how stable Mozart was. I know how stable Einstein appeared to be. I mean, he always looks like a wacko, right? In his stuff. I don't know how stable Picasso was. Whatever it is, we still cannot deny the impact he's had on music and fashion and culture. He just took it a step too far.
Do you think he will ever recover? Because going into the
the industry is unforgivable, and there's too much content out there to recall what you did. I feel like nowadays one mess up and you're labeled and branded for good.
It's 3
because
hours worth of content.
There's too much out there for people to judge you by. Whereas I don't know, in 1990 or in 82 or in 75, you could mess up and you could come back stronger and no one would really care. You know, you could maybe issue a public apology or something, but I think that people are getting tired of him.
Yeah. He's not really putting out dope music to even match it.
I mean, he can always make dope music. And most of the tracks any of us have ever jammed to, be it tracks from Jay-Z, Pharrell, they've all been produced by him.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Sunday Service to me was like the pinnacle of musical experience.
Oh yeah.
It's one thing that I wish I would have attended in my lifetime. Like if you've ever seen the videos on YouTube of Sunday Service, it's magical.
Yeah, I've seen.
You know, and how many people can do that? So,
very few.
Has he reached the end, mate?
I think he's kind of gone. You just become one of those guys that you just see him like, yeah, he's in the internet, on the corner of the internet somewhere just talking, but you can't respect his presence anymore.
There's two things. It's either if he continues in the pursuit of his quest, whatever it is, he's gonna just become a laughing stock, like an eternal laughing stock.
Yeah.
If one day he comes back with a certain level of wisdom and says, "This is where I went wrong," I think people will accept him again. You know, there was yesterday I was intelligent and I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise and I want to change myself.
Did you come up with
No. It's some quote that I read. And I think he's at that point where I think he needs to gain the wisdom and understand that you're dealing with people. You can't impose yourself on people. You can't impose your vision, your understanding, your opinion on people. And be overbearing with it, you know? You have to understand that the world is highly complex and it just doesn't run in your direction. And maybe, you know, losing the money, losing the contracts is going to put him in his place. It's going to ground him in a way. I don't think he'll ever go bankrupt, even though it's quite easy to go bankrupt. Like when you got a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, you mean the bills and stuff? Yeah, because I don't think he has any addictions.
Not that we know of. I don't know.
Because like when he showed up on Drink Champs, like you see his face was really puffy. Yeah. I think he's been drinking for a while. Yeah. Or he's just been really unhealthy. Yeah. So I hope he's good, but like that's pretty much messed up.
Mate, all I know is that he's no longer a billionaire since Adidas dropped him. Gap can't work with him. Everyone's just going on it.
He's radioactive.
And I don't think the industry is ever going to turn back because he touched one point that is. I feel like, you know, you can touch certain sensitive points, but once you go into anti-Semitism,
that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Now, whether we like it or not, that's the world we live in. I mean, obviously, there's a reason why these laws are in place, or these rules, or these, you know, bad shit happened. That I guess young people also tend to not remember what happened. Most people don't even know about the First World War, the Second World War.
They don't really care.
They're so clueless about it.
They've been doing POV TikToks about them and stuff.
So, you know, there is a reason why the world is so strict on it. Yeah. And perhaps the world needs to be more strict on other forms of bias, racial discrimination, bigotry. I mean, you know, people need to be just as sensitive to Black lives. People need to be just as sensitive to, you know, every other topic that is out there. That
when
deserves,
he talks about slavery being a choice, nobody really walked out on him. But Okay, now that
and people think that it's easier to comment on the black man than it is to comment on the Jewish man, or it is to comment on the, you know, and that has to change. So I think they're not wrong for calling him out of that, but
apply the energy.
The energy needs to be applied across the industry to all types of people.
True.
Because, you know, you just can't have an unregulated platform. Like people are listening to that, and people are feeding off of that.
Yeah.
You know, like suddenly he's become like the guru of neo-Nazis. You know, like they're actually quoting him and like
people banners on bridges and stuff and
exactly.
I saw that. I saw that this week.
When you're in a position of power, you need to realize that you have a responsibility, not just to achieve your dreams, but to to guide people's minds towards essentially
What is
peace,
what is dope?
solidarity,
Yeah.
good times,
Pretty much your brand.
humility,
Yeah.
and put that out there, and the world will give it back to you. So he went too far. He's gonna pay for it. I, for one, I don't know if I'm gonna DJ. Like, I'll feel
For
awkward.
real? You are going to
like,
Kanye West?
I would feel a little bit awkward putting one of his tracks on because I'm
Everybody's
thinking
gonna look at you sideways.
some people in the crowd are gonna be thinking,
Okay, you kind
so
of
you fuck with Kanye?
Yeah.
so you fuck with Kanye, But he has been an inspiration to me, nevertheless. This is my opinion. He has been someone that I've admired in terms of like his creations on Yeezy and Sunday service and all of that. I just wish he was a bit more chilled.
Or surrounded by like really good community.
Yeah, I mean, look at Pharrell. Like, Pharrell is like, or look
He's
at...
been chill.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I think it's
But
a
you know
family
what?
part.
You know what, Carl? At the same time, it is exactly that same energy that got him to that height.
When he had a chip on his
No,
shoulder, or
his boisterous confidence, his
irrational self-belief.
is what got him to that level.
Yeah.
And I think what pains him is not being able to say what he thinks and feeling censored.
Yeah.
Feeling
Most of that.
censored to him is a real form of slavery.
And not included. Because the first time he showed up on Charlemagne's video, the way he was talking about is this, like, they still treat him as a rapper.
Yeah.
He's not one of us.
Yeah.
He kind of
For
feels
sure,
excluded.
for sure.
So like with him going out and spazzing, he's
Yeah.
mostly attacking
Yeah.
like systems and
yeah.
these
But for the
people,
long time, his biggest woe was literally being classified as a producer and not a rapper.
Okay, yeah,
He was
he had
desperate
beat
to
that.
rap.
Yeah, he had to.
So
beat
he's
that.
always trying to let people know that he can be the best in many different fields.
Yeah.
But people always try to box him into one thing.
True.
So there's a lot to learn from him, man. But one thing I'll tell you for a fact, don't go public and go talk shit about people and go talk shit about races and go talk shit about religious minorities and go talk, because you have a responsibility when you're that famous.
True.
I think that's what it is. We just have opinions right now. We don't know exactly what's going
happening,
through his mind.
yeah.
We don't know the intricacy of his
It's a lot to research. It's a lot to research.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah.
But that's it. So
Hey, how those one just walked in.
yeah, well, you can cut it.
We don't go.
Okay, we won't cut it. We're
episode
doing a
0.
podcast. We're doing a podcast, a video podcast.
You can say hi.
Yeah. Well, I can't come right now. I'm on camera, man. Yeah, I'm on camera.
No, it's cool.
I'll see you in a minute.
I'll add
Yeah.
episode 0. Yeah.
So we're at my crib.
Yeah.
This is my studio, Studio Blase.
You tell us a lot more about
Yeah.
everything you're on.
And that was my mom. So yeah.
So yeah, pretty
What's
much. Yeah, you said that you should be very responsible since you have this big ass platform and you need to be lead everyone towards peace and everything. So that's pretty much it for episode 0. Aldo, what are you about? What's going on? What are we promoting?
Everyone
what's
has
happening
two
with you?
lives, right? Everyone has
Yeah.
two lives. You have the one that everyone knows about, the mainstream stuff, work. I won't go into that detail, but where we are right now is Studio Blase. Studio Blase is essentially a brand.
Yeah.
It's an organic and dynamic brand, meaning that the space is the living brand, and this is what we're about. Kit Kat, Soma. Yeah, right now. Why do you throw it over? Can you give me like 2 minutes? 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Just wait outside.
Yeah.
The brand is it's a music studio where we have a lot of underground DJ sets. We have DJs that line up, but at the same time, what we really do over here is that we create merchandise, eyewear, jerseys, caps, and the main mission is to make a melting pot of of good vibes.
Yeah.
You know, we're here to promote solidarity and inclusion through the love of music.
Okay.
And attached to that, all the cool merch that comes with it. So this is Studio Blase on Local Road in Osu, Accra, Ghana.
Tell him.
It's coming. It's coming, guys. Watch out.
Cool. So yeah, that's been it for episode 0 of the Backbenchers podcast. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll drop again. Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah,
This is
hopefully,
it. This is the home.
Yeah, we did start that. So that's pretty much it. Anything else you like to say? Oh,
Nah,
cool.
you see him on episode 1.
Episode
This is 0, right?
This is 0.
Yeah. So episode 1.
Yeah, dope.
We're coming stronger. All right.
So that's pretty much it.
Bless.
Take care.
See you guys.
Subscribe.